All right. Well, hey everybody, how are you doing? We have some incredible, phenomenal, jaw-dropping information that I believe will, of course, point you towards living a life of success, prosperity, and all the things and all the hearts and all of the desires of your hearts, of course, are coming forth.
Yes.
And I am with Erinn, Staci, and I'm Mr. LaSalle.
The LaSalle.
And we are, of course, homogenizing the adventures of Erinn with Let's Talk Success.
Yes, and of course, Empower Universe.
Yes, Empower Universe.
We came together and aligned, and how could I forget to put my America Let's Talk Success hat on during this segment of America Let's Talk Success with LaSalle.
So to get things going, I think we should just spread a little love around. And ladies and gentlemen, I call this the mystery of love. Love makes you feel special.
Yes.
It changes all of us for the better. It's the one commodity that multiplies when you give it away. You see, when you just spread it all around,
yes,
you actually really hang on to it because it just keeps boomeranging back to you. For as love is concerned, it's always important to just be in absolute spending.
yes.
So give it away, throw it away, dosh it all over,
Yes.
even on those who don't deserve it.
Oh.
You may startle them in acting in ways that they have never even dreamed possible. Love truly is the sweet mystery of life and one of the greatest motivators ever known to humankind.
Yes.
So if someone hasn't told you that they loved you today, I just did.
Oh, I love you too. I love you too. And I love y'all too. And really, when I met this gentleman, I live for Empire Universe, but I seen how our missions were similar. He spoke of, gifts. I don't know if you all can see this, but he gifted a bunch of gifts to me, but this one was entitled A Gift from the Universe. And there are just certain things that I don't take lightly, and I knew that I was supposed to connect with him. And it was so funny that this opportunity came about because yesterday when I was recording our daily affirmations, I thought about him and I said, I need to get his message out because other people deserve to hear this awesomeness that, he was blessed to be able to co-create so we can put it out there for everybody to experience, to share, and to feel, because we all need that love, we all need that encouragement, we all need that push. So let's all.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's talk success.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is that we're going to articulate from phase 9 of the Let's Talk Success series, which basically covers affirmations and helping you understand what affirmations are. So here's the script. We're going to be cold reading for you. All right. And what we're going to do, Erinn, we're going to start right here on the second page there where it says how affirmations work.
Yes.
And then I'll start and we're going to conclude where right here. We're going to conclude right here, right before how to formulate affirmations. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Everybody check this out. How affirmations work. Now, we all talk to ourselves, whether we realize it or not. Unfortunately, we often repeat much of the negative input to which we have been conditioned by experiences of the past. For example, if you say repeatedly, I can never remember people's names. Do not be surprised if you truly cannot remember names. If you affirm repeatedly, I've always hated math, don't be surprised if you have trouble balancing your checkbook. If you say to yourself, oh no, I've made that same stupid mistake again. Do not be surprised if you repeat it yet again tomorrow. On the other hand, you can plan intentionally to use positive affirmations to promote positive material for your mind to act upon in building your attitudes. For example, if you would like to gain greater control over your temper, remind yourself daily, I remain in control of my emotions and reactions at all times, no matter what other people say or do, no matter what circumstances arise. I act calmly and rationally. If you're trying to improve the management of your finances by following a family budget, just simply say, hey, I spend my money for pleasure and profits according to my family plan. If you want to improve communication with your children, you might affirm, I enjoy knowing my children as people. I listen when they talk and understand both their words and their feelings. I respect them and their right to be themselves. You see, your mind is like a highly efficient computer. Well, I would like to say the computers are really highly efficient that emerge from our minds. It controls your actions, your emotions, and your attitudes according to the material it has been given to work with. If you feed your mind negative ideas and information, it can only respond negatively. If you give it positive, confident information, it will respond in like manner. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, if we could visualize for a moment your mind as a large bucket. In this bucket are collected all of the experiences, information, ideas, and feelings you have accumulated over the past. A great deal of what went into your mental bucket during the early part of your life was, unfortunately, negative. You were told, don't do this, or you must avoid that, or you repeatedly warned to be careful or told exactly what to do until your mind eventually inferred,
Yes.
that it must not think for itself. Consequently, your bucket is filled with cold water that dampens your enthusiasm, quenches the fire of your curiosity, and drowns your initiative. Now suppose that you have found a large bed of small stones or gravel. Do you remember how you enjoyed such stones when you were a child? Their smooth texture felt good to your fingers. Their firm weight in your hand or your pocket was a constant reminder of their presence. Their reassuring warmth when they had been lying in the sun gave you a good feeling all over as you handled them. Now you see yourself eagerly dropping one of these warm stones into the bucket of cold water that represents your mind. What happens? The principle of displacement begins to work. When the stone is dropped into the bucket, some of the water spills out. As you continue to add more stones, more and more the water is displaced, and the little that remains takes on a measure of warmth from contact with the warm stones.
Okay, let me just intervene right here. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, what she's trying to say is that, yes, throughout the course of our life, we've been fed just lots and lots and lots of negative information, and the way to turn that around is to now manage your information diet, and then of course plug in to positive, progressive information to then of course flush out all of the old negative information. As a matter of fact, I have a perfect affirmation, and of course you can gleam into this and use this affirmation on a daily basis for your health. As I say to myself, I get younger by the moment and my heart pumps perfectly every day. Now, I'm just telling you, I've been doing this. I've probably done it a million times. I've said that affirmation a million times because remember, repetition is the mother of learning, and what you are opting to do is to be able to flush that information, the new information, to your conscious and your unconscious awareness, so therefore you can act on it immediately.
Yes.
And here's another affirmation for clearing here. Now, I remove and displace by my spoken word every untrue record in your unconscious mind. They should return to the abyss of space-time nothingness, for as they came from vain imaginings. You've now made the new records through the universal God that resides within. That's the thoughts and feelings of health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. That's health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. As a matter of fact, we can even do a little chant with that. I have health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. I have health, wealth, love, and perfect self-expression. You can even make a song out of it.
Really quick.
Go ahead.
Go back to that last affirmation that you did. It was a little long, but it was phenomenal. And I want us all to say it. So I want you to slow down and break it up.
Okay. I now remove and displace.
I now remove and displace.
By my spoken word.
By my spoken word.
Every untrue record.
Every untrue record.
In my unconscious mind.
In my unconscious mind.
They should return to the abyss.
That should return to the abyss.
Of space-time nothingness.
Of space-time nothingness.
For as they came from vain imaginings.
For as they came from vain imaginings.
I have now made the new records.
I have now made the new records.
Through the universal God.
Through the universal God.
That resides within.
That resides within.
That's the thoughts and feelings.
That's the thoughts and feelings.
Of health.
Of health.
Wealth. Love. And perfect self-expression.
And perfect self-expression. Let's go. Yes. That's what's up. Love it.
Yes. Okay, continue on.
Okay. If the warm stones represent positive thoughts and ideas that you deliberately feed into the mind stop with too many negatives, you can see how the effect of those warm positive ideas gradually begin to operate in your favor. More and more negatives are displaced or modified. Your mind gradually begins to call upon the new ideas and experiences you are constantly feeding into. Very soon your attitude begins to change, and in a short while your behavior reflects the difference that now exists in your mind. Since you cannot control completely the circumstances around you or predict what other people will say, you cannot depend on outside sources to feed positive ideas or information into your brain. The responsibility is yours alone. The tool is affirmation. Another way to picture the power of affirmation is to picture your mind on a seesaw. If you are now loaded with negative experiences and attitudes, the negative end of the seesaw remains permanently on the ground. Begin to feed positive thoughts and ideas into your mind. However, and the positive end of the seesaw becomes progressively heavier until it first balances the negative side and then takes over and displaces the negative ideas by the sheer force of weight.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. And that is our idea for the day on affirmations, but we have more because, we in future segments, we're going to show you how to formulate affirmations and how affirmations, we were doing how affirmations work, and there's even more on that and others, and ladies and gentlemen, that's all I can say. Stay tuned in.
I want to, and how I see us closing out or beginning the Let's Talk Success segment of Adventures with Erinn Staci is we either start or close out with the gathering of the lights.
Okay. All right, that's very, very cool.
So you guys, I was gifted this, and it really inspired even what we're doing now. It's
actually a compilation. I of course, read the New Testament, and I added just a few trinkets from the Old Testament. But basically, it's something that perhaps took me a whole year to, comb through all of the pages in the New Testament and then abstract all of these particular scriptures that had something to do with light.
Yes.
And then package it all together.
So I thought this was phenomenal. So I'm going to share this with you. I shared this with various friends, people that call me in the morning for motivation, people that reach out to me. I am here as a light bearer to wake up hundreds, thousands, millions of people. I feel he shares the same purpose. And here we go. Are we going to read out the scriptures or are we just going to read the words? How did we do it the last time?
Well, I guess it would just be best to just give the information, and then I guess as a tag you can say, okay, this is from Matthew, or this is from Mark, or whatever have you. But it's most important that they just hear the words that is respect to light, knowing that it was derived from the Word of God.
So here we go. And God said, let there be light. And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lightened upon him. The people which sat in darkness saw great light. Ye are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men. Thy whole body shall be full of light. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, for with God all things are possible, that they which enter into the sea may see the light. Thy whole body also is full of light, as when the bright shining of a candle doth give the light. Let your loins be girded about, and your lights burning. And the life was the light of men. That was the true light. The light is come into the world, but he that doeth truth come into the light. He was a burning and shining light. I am the light of the world. One thing I know, that whereas I was blind, now I can see. Okay? Believe in the light, that ye may be the children of the light. I am come a light into the world. Then he called for a light.
Yes.
For I delight in the law of God after the inward man. Love is the fulfilling of the law. And let us put on the armor of light. There is one glory of the sun, and another glory of the moon, and another glory of the stars. And zeal hath provoked very many. I use lightness, for all the law is fulfilled in one word. Walk as children of light, for whatsoever doeth or doth make manifest is light. Arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. Among whom ye shine as lights in the world, be partakers of inheritance of the saints in light. Ye are all children of light. The brightness of his coming, meditate upon these things, hath brought life and immortality to life, purify unto himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works. We have great joy and consolation in love, in thy love, those who were once enlightened, after ye were illuminated, and cometh down from the Father of lights, who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. We are light bearers of truth. We hold the torch through our wisdom, through our knowledge, through our love, through our compassion.
And to summarize that, if I may echo the outstanding world famous group called Earth, Wind and Fire, and they had a very, very popular song out there called Mighty Mighty, and part of the chorus of that song says, we are children of the mighty, mighty people of the sun, meaning that we are full of light.
Yes, light workers,
yes.
Light beings, coming from a source of light.
Yes.
So, I'd like to conclude now. There will be more to come. So you stay tuned in. Adventures with Erinn, Staci, featuring LaSalle.
And America, let's talk success.
Yes. So stay tuned. I'll be in touch, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in.
All right. Woo. That's a tape. It's a wrap.